Hello and welcome to stage 4 of the Brabham Royale, and she was missing again, so I had her pop on by. Maybe that's part of the storyline, but I haven't seen it yet. Let me know if you figured it out. Anyhow, gotta have Natalie make her appearances. Once again, there's going to be timestamp links in the description if you want to jump around a little bit. I'm going to show you my whole day. I'm starting this with all Tier 1 upgrades, that is R upgrades. And in this race, we are starting with no tires, 0% tires. It says no off track. Let's see what that means. Okay, 1 full second of off track. Sometimes there's a hidden full second that you get, and that's good to know in case you're having trouble with the event and you need to go off track a little bit to get an advantage. Several people noticed that in race 3 of stage 3, I went off track a little bit and didn't fail, and that would be why. Okay, so this says no damage. It's okay to damage your sides a little bit. You really don't want to damage your nose. Yikes, that almost ended my race right there. If you crack your windshield, your race is over. So a little bit of bumping is okay, bumping and rubbing, and because I've got really no tires right now, that's kind of why I was drifting it a little bit and using the cars as a wall. So even this Koenigsegg, I'm tapping him a little bit. Now you got to be careful right here, right about here. Koenigsegg's and Bugattis are going to nail the brakes extremely early. So I'm making full use of it. I'm already in 9th place. I just need one more position, and that's an Aston Martin. I think it's a Vulcan. So that's going to be slower. He shouldn't be hard to catch. Now, one thing you really got to be careful of, I actually have failed stages because someone came up behind me really fast and hit me. And the Bugattis and the Koenigsegg's are very capable of doing that. So you got to keep your eyes on the distance on the bottom, see how fast they're gaining. Another nice thing is that the drafting feature. If someone is getting close to your back, you'll start to notice that the drafting has been enabled. So watch for that. Now, if my tires are up to full, you can take that full speed. I'm going to take it easy. I think I'll take the inside line here, and he should give it to me. Yeah, there we go. I mean, he didn't totally roll over, but you can see that he overbraked a little. I'm back to managing the bots and only finishing with as big as a lead as I have to have. Like even here, I'm reeling him in a little bit, and that should keep the bots a little bit reasonable going forward. I'm very happy that I figured out that little trick for race 4 in stage 3 because I was able to slow my super fast norm down. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out. There's an old quick retry method. Okay, this one's challenging. This one took me a little bit to figure out the best strategy. Normally, I would get up to the leader, do all my drafting on the leader, and call it a day. You can't do that here because you need 10,000 meters. If you're running in yards, I don't know. I'm sure you'll know the answer to that one if you run in yards. You can go off track on this stage. And so if you're with low upgrades, you might want to take advantage of that. Now, I was hoping to catch up to Tan so I could get some drafting on him, but I didn't. However, he's going to be really slow through the first section here, so I'll have no trouble catching up to him. And I could draft on him a bit if I want to, but you know what? He's honestly a bit slow. I don't want to waste my time with him. I think I've got a Koenigsegg up there. Yep, that's a Koenigsegg. So he's going to be slow here. So I'm going to tap him a bit. I don't want to totally trash my car. So if you hit him too hard, this is bump drafting. If you bump him too hard, you're going to crack your windshield. Like that. So now I've lost some of my speed, acceleration, grip, and brakes. Oh well, I'm going to keep going. Now here, see, he's braking really early. He'll do it again here. Gotta watch for that. I wish I would have timed that a little bit better so that I could have had a little more drafting. Oh, we didn't break the draft. That's awesome. I might tap him a little bit here. No, I'd rather just get nicely on nuts. I was going to try to line up nicely. Come on, hurry up. You're a Koenigsegg. Get going. I guess I'm in his race line. Okay, well, I really blew that. Hopefully I can salvage this event. And there we go. Nice thing about getting him loose is you get more time to draft, but it's pretty picky. You really do need to be in the draft. You can't just be behind him and a little bit off to the side. It won't work. Now, this corner coming up, you can take it full throttle with these upgrades in this car. So look at that, closing up nicely. And time to dump him off. Bye-bye. So what I did is I pushed him into the corner. His braking distance is a lot longer than mine. So I started braking a little bit later than I normally would and just shove him off into the corner. So here we go. I've got Michael, and I've got little less than half the drafting I've got to do yet. Now, he's still going to be slow. That's an Ferrari FXXK Evo. And as you can see, not too bad. He could be driving this way faster, and he's not. But that's a lot of drafting to get in. 10,000 meters. And then we've got a lapped car, which... Oops. Hey, I just blew out Michael's rear window. Sorry, Michael. Wonder how much a rear window is on an FXXK Evo. I bet you don't go by your local auto parts store and buy that one. As I'm sure you are noticing, I have no trouble smashing Michael at this point. I've already got maximum damage, I have nothing to lose, and seems to be working for me. So I tapped him a little bit. I wanted to get him a little bit loose, not that loose. Oops. And he's going to pull away. So Williams is closing up. I got to watch that because Williams, I think he's that Koenigsegg. And one advantage of shoving someone into a wall front end first is it can slow them down. Oh, there we go. Close the gap a bit. Got almost all of... Oh, there we go. Now I have no need for Michael. So, let's do a little bit of a dirty pass. This is called a bump and run. A really bad bump and run. Bye-bye, Michael. Boom! Boy, that was violent. Okay, so looks like we're going to have two FXXK Evos fighting behind me. All right, I'm going to block him, and I think the other one's... Oh my! Isn't that some carnage? That was a fun race. That is challenging, though. Took me a few tries to figure out the best way to do that, and I was happy with that method. Now, this one says stay on track. Okay, literally, or is there a little bit of grace? First thing to do is test that out. Well, I'll test it out for you so you don't have to. Let's check it out. Instant fail. You can't go off track for even 1/100th of a second. Okay, now we know that. And it says 142. So I don't think that should be too hard. Basically, this is a time trial. You can't let Michael get on your bumper because you won't have enough time to finish the event. So just drive it really good. So little braking point here. And then if you get the trajectory right, you're full throttle through this, braking a little bit here, a little bit deeper, so that you can stay full throttle through all of this. And maybe you could stay full throttle for this first turn. I don't want to push it. I'm going to brake a little bit. Yeah, I really don't know if you could. But this is going to be good enough. You're going to see that. And then braking a little bit later into this section. I noticed that I'm braking a little bit earlier than I have to be. See there, I over-braked a little bit. So you could make a little bit more time there if you need to. Same with coming into the next braking point. You can brake pretty late. That's what I'm finding, at least. So that's pretty late braking. Nice. And there we go. Power out of this corner nicely. My time's looking really good to me. I have a huge lead on Michael. I'd rather not have such a big lead, but nothing you can do about it in this event because there's a time constraint. And like I was saying on one of the other stages, that fire monkeys know this, and that's why we get stages like this, because this is going to increase bot difficulty. That's why you have to lower it when you can. Okay, I have way too much time left over. I'm going to slow down here, and I just need to cross before that timer hits 0. At least it should be. That's the deal. A little bit more time. There we go. Wait a second. Well, isn't that strange? I did not cross within 142, but it let me pass. My timer hadn't run out. I guess they meant 143? Anyhow, well, I passed it, so isn't that nice? All right, and this one's interesting. So this is the opposite of where we started. This is where we have tire degradation. Now, Michael, he's fast. You can get a little bit of push from him, and you should, just to block a little bit. My suggestion is, from this point forward, really drive it. Don't go off track. Your tires will degrade way faster if you go totally off track. They're possibly degrading even with 2 tires off track. You also do not want to be skidding. You will have major tire degradation if you're skidding. I'll show you the test I did so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is just at the very first corner. I'm doing a big slide, and then I back it up so you can see the number, and look at this, 61%. Well, I'm still at 81%, and I'm way further in the race. So if you're skidding, especially if you're skidding off track, you're going to really degrade your tires, and that's not going to matter much on this first lap, but it's really going to hurt you near the tail end of the second lap, where I failed this stage several times. Remember what I said about the Bugattis? Look out, they're going to brake several times because they have so much speed and not enough grip and brakes to balance it. Cut under this Aston Martin Vulcan, and maybe I can get a push. It's difficult when you're getting a push from a lapped car because you're not really sure where he is, so you have to know the race lines the bots want to take. Now, there we go, there's a Koenigsegg, and got to be careful with those guys too, so I'm going to have to check my mirrors a little bit because all it's showing me is Michael. I have no idea how close that Koenigsegg is. I think he's going to be pretty far back though. Yeah, with that chicane, I'm not going to have to worry about him. So I'm going to be careful. The whole point about the first lap is get a bunch of lapped cars between you and Michael. They're going to keep him tangled up, and you just shouldn't have to worry about him because now you're going to have to be a little bit more on the brakes because 50% tires, that's a fair amount of degradation. Hey, Michael's fighting with someone. There was a change there for second place, back and forth. Well, that's a good thing. That'll slow him down a little bit. All right, 45%. Yeah, see. So you can go off track if you want to, but it's extremely risky in order for you to finish this race. It'll really hamper your progress. So even here, I've got a really nice lead on Michael, but got to be careful. Like, whatever you know about the braking points, they're kind of getting shot at this point as you get near 30%. So coming into this corner, I blew it right here twice, went sliding way off track because I was using my normal braking point. So even here, a little bit loose. Michael's quite a ways back there though. Just checking to see if I've got a fast car closing up on me, and I have nothing to worry about. Well, now I can reel Michael back in, and I've got all this grip left over. I could waste some of that. I don't want to finish with a big lead. Bot management is keep the leads tight. Drag out the race a bit, which I didn't do much of that. Might as well use up some more of my tires, see if I can get it down to 0. Oh, Michael is... Woo! That's pretty fast. I better be careful. I don't want to get... Oh, good. I thought that was Michael. It threw me off for a bit. There you go. So, not too bad. I didn't show you my upgrades through the day because I didn't add any. So now, I will show you. Ones. Just ones. I don't think that's going to last, but for now, all ones is working just fine. However, things usually get pretty crazy in the second last and last day. So, here's a playlist for the other stages if you missed them. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow.